Hello, my name is Silas McCollum, and I'm here to give my persuasive speech on gun control. This is my audience. Restricting the right to bear arms does not stop crime, but only leaves law-abiding citizens more vulnerable. Picture something with me for a second. You're walking home with your loved ones, wife, kids, etc., and you see a break-in right before your eyes. You reach for your gun, but thanks to new laws, it isn't there. There's no time to call for help because they could be minutes away. You're all alone, unable to protect yourselves or those that you love. Strict gun control doesn't disarm criminals, but only disarms the innocent people of America. This debate isn't only about guns and the ability to protect ourselves, but is also about everything this country stands for: liberty, freedom, or as the U.S. Constitution puts it, unalienable rights. George Mason once stated, "To disarm people is the best and most effective way to enslave them." I agree with Mr. Mason, and it should be known by all American citizens that our freedom is constantly being torn and picked at due to gun control laws. So again, I will restate it: restricting the right to bear arms does not stop crime, but only leaves law-abiding citizens more vulnerable. This is a topic that I've been very passionate about, and I've been keen on raising awareness of the danger of losing our guns and our rights. I participated in multiple formal debates concerning this issue, including a mock trial. I've also had many informal debates amongst peers and even family members. So to preview our main points: first, our right to bear arms. Second, taking away our guns doesn't stop crime. And finally, empowered citizens are safer citizens. The right to bear arms is ingrained in our history, and freedom is the cornerstone of the United States. The Second Amendment is not hard to understand or unclear. However, it states clearly that all registered American citizens have the inalienable right to bear a firearm. So for my first point, our right to bear arms. The Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, the document on which our country was founded, guarantees American citizens the right to bear arms. This amendment was written to ensure the safety of the individual American citizen, not just from criminals, but also from governmental tyranny. Taking the power out of the hands of the people undermines the very idea of a free society and suggests a government-ruled nation. As long as we are U.S. citizens, we have the right to bear arms. This is not a vague thing, it is our right. We should be able to stand up and defend ourselves as a free people. As I will explain in a second, firearms play a vital role in stopping crimes every day. So now that we understand the clarity of the Second Amendment and our right to bear firearms, we will now consider how taking away the innocent's guns doesn't stop crime. So for our second point, gun control does not prevent crime. I want you to imagine another situation with me, if you will. Let's say there's a single mother in town where strict gun control laws are being enforced. Just putting the children down for bed, she sits down to read her book. Suddenly she hears somebody attempting to break into her home and quickly reaches for the phone. She calls 911, who are minutes from her house. Within seconds, the intruder is inside and unlawfully armed. There she is, unable to protect her children, who are sleeping quietly as this takes place. Gun control doesn't stop crime. It only stops us from being able to defend ourselves. So let's consider some statistics. So first, guns prevent an estimated 2.5 million crimes a year, or 6,849 every day. Every year, 400,000 life-threatening violent crimes are prevented using firearms. As you can see, firearms only assist the stopping of crime. 60% of convicted felons admitted that they avoided committing crimes when they knew the victim was armed. Fewer than 1% of firearms are used in the commission of a crime. And so these things are not just police officers. This is everyday individuals, Americans, protecting themselves with the use of firearms. So, as you can see, gun control doesn't work to stop crime. Criminals will dishonor the law. We are only assisting them in their crimes when we take away the ability to defend ourselves. Now that we have seen the negative effects of gun control, we can now discuss how the empowerment of citizens ensures a safer environment. When people can defend themselves, they don't have to wait helplessly for the local police department to arrive. I'm not saying we do not need the police, but I am saying that we have guns for some of the same reasons that we have the police department: for peace, protection, and for the enforcement of the law. This brings me to my conclusion. We discussed our right to bear arms, how taking away innocents' guns doesn't stop crime, and that empowered citizens are safer citizens. By doing this, I've shown you that restricting the right to bear arms does not stop crime, but only leaves law-abiding citizens more vulnerable. Many of you probably have questions like, is it not possible for people to use the right to bear arms as a justification for violence? Or maybe, what about suicides or accidents? Doesn't that get worse with more guns? To the first question, I would say, people who violate the law by using a gun to harm innocent people will be penalized according to our current laws. However, that does not mean that we deny anyone else their rights as law-abiding citizens. We shouldn't ban guns because of the low number of people who abuse their rights, any more than we should outlaw the free speech because of one corrupt individual. And to the second question, I would simply say no. Suicides and accidents cannot be resolved by a gun ban. Although firearm suicides are a terrible thing, the problem does not rest on the firearms, but on this human in possession of them. That is why enforcing mental health checks is vital when selling a firearm. Teaching people how to safely store firearms and helping those in need is much more beneficial. These are things we can do without violating anybody's rights. Finally, I want to leave you with two quotes by two of our founding fathers and one by the first U.S. president concerning the topic of gun control. So first, by Thomas Jefferson, no free man shall ever be debarred of the use of arms. This is a fact that has founded our country and should not be taken away from each American individual. Finally, from our first U.S. president, says firearms stand next in importance to the Constitution itself. They are the American people's liberty teeth and keystone under independence. That was from George Washington, as you might have guessed. President Washington understood the importance of the American people having the right to bear arms. I hope now you do too. Thank you.